High above Earth, hidden from human detection, 17 alien ships gathered in a meeting that would decide the fate of the planet below. These vessels represented the Galactic Council, a union of the most advanced civilizations in the known universe. "The humans are advancing too quickly," said the Zentari representative, a tall blue creature with 4 arms. "Their technology will soon allow them to leave their solar system." "And we all know what happens when humans expand," added the Vrax leader, whose skin shimmered like oil on water. "They consume. They destroy. They fight among themselves and anything different from them." The Council had watched Earth for centuries. They saw how humans fought wars, how they used up resources, and how quickly they developed new technologies. To the Council, humans were dangerous, not because they were strong now, but because of what they might become. "The containment field has worked for 50 years, said another alien. "But it is weakening. We must strengthen it before the humans break free." With a unanimous vote, the Council decided to send their containment fleet to Earth. Their mission? Make sure humans never joined the galactic community. Commander Do Hyun stared at the message on his screen, reading it for the 5th time. 3 years ago, his friend Dr. June had disappeared during a research trip to Mars. Everyone believed he was dead. Now, this message had arrived, encrypted in a way only Do Hyun would understand. "I found something they don't want us to know," the message read. "Earth is in a cage. Look at the data. They've been holding us back." Do Hyun downloaded the attached files. They contained readings of energy patterns surrounding Earth, patterns that shouldn't exist naturally. According to June's notes, these energy patterns formed a containment field that had 2 purposes: to make Earth look uninteresting to passing alien ships, and to subtly limit human technology. "This is impossible," Do Hyun whispered, but the data was clear. Earth was being contained like an animal in a zoo. He immediately called his team at the Earth Defense Force, a secret international organization created to protect against potential threats from space. "Analyze these readings," he told them. "And keep this quiet. If June is right, we're being watched." In a massive space station at the edge of the solar system, Ambassador Hai-Jin looked out at the stars. She wasn't really an ambassador. She was a prisoner, though her captors called her a cultural specimen. 30 years ago, aliens had taken her from Earth. They told her she was the representative of humanity to the Galactic Council. In reality, they kept her to study human behavior and occasionally show her off to visitors. Hai-Jin had learned to be patient. She had learned their languages, studied their technology, and earned limited access to their computer systems. Today, that patience paid off. While her guards were distracted by the arrival of important visitors, Hai-Jin accessed a restricted database. There, she found files labeled Project Earth Cage. Her hands trembled as she read. The Galactic Council never intended to welcome humans into their community. They planned to keep Earth isolated until they decided humans were safe, which might take thousands of years. Eventually, they would begin harvesting Earth's resources, treating humans as primitive natives who couldn't stop them. "I have to warn them," she whispered. But before she could think of a plan, alarms blared throughout the station. The main screen in her room activated automatically, showing a fleet of massive ships moving toward the solar system. "Containment fleet approaching Earth sector," announced a mechanical voice. "Operation Strengthen begins in 10 cycles." Hai-Jin watched in horror. These ships were coming to make Earth's prison even stronger. Back on Earth, Do Hyun met with General Yeo Park of the Global Defense Initiative. "Your friend's data checks out," Park said grimly. "Our best scientists confirm it. There's definitely something surrounding Earth, and it's not natural. And now we've detected objects entering the solar system," Do Hyun added. "Massive objects, moving faster than anything we've built." The general nodded. "We've called an emergency, meeting with all major world governments. For now, this stays secret from the public. No need to cause panic." Do Hyun disagreed. "People deserve to know we're not alone, and that we're being contained." "And they will," Park assured him. "But first we need a plan. If these aliens have technology advanced enough to put a field around our entire planet without us noticing, What chance do we have against them? Do-hyun pulled up Jun's data again. My friend found something else. The field has weak points, and it affects our thinking, makes certain scientific connections harder to make. That's why our technology has developed the way it has. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting we might be more capable than they think, Do-hyun said, and that they're containing us because they're afraid of what we might become. In her quarters on the space station, Hae-jin made a desperate decision. For years, she had secretly built a device from parts she had stolen. It was meant to send a message to Earth, but she had never dared use it because it would reveal her actions to her captors. Now there was no choice. She activated the device and recorded a message. This is Hae-jin Kim, taken from Earth 30 years ago. We are not alone in the universe, and we are not free. A group called the Galactic Council has placed Earth in a containment field to limit our development. They fear what humans might become. They are sending ships to strengthen this field. You must find a way to break it before it's too late. She sent the message knowing it might not reach Earth, knowing she would be punished if discovered, but someone had to try. The next morning, unusual aurora lights appeared in skies worldwide. Scientists were puzzled by their sudden appearance and strange patterns. Do-hyun knew better. The containment fleet had arrived and was working to strengthen the field around Earth. The clock was ticking. In his office at the Earth Defense Force headquarters, he reviewed Jun's data again. There had to be a way to break through the containment. Humans had lived in this cage long enough. His phone rang. It was a scientist from the Signal Detection Department. "Commander, we've received a message," the scientist said, voice shaking with excitement. "It's from space and it's in Korean." Do-hyun's heart raced. "Put it through." As he listened to Hae-jin's warning, pieces began falling into place. They weren't just contained, they were being prepared for harvesting like cattle in a pen. "We need to act now," he told his team after playing them the message. "Gather our best minds. If they can build a cage, we can break it." Outside his window, the strange auroras grew brighter. The cage was being reinforced, but the captives were finally aware of their prison. And humans, as the Galactic Council was about to learn, made very dangerous prisoners. 6 months had passed since the strange auroras appeared in Earth's skies. The world's governments had united under a single banner, though the public was told this was due to global security concerns. Only those with the highest clearance knew the truth. Aliens had imprisoned Earth, and they were working to strengthen that prison. Military forces worldwide prepared in secret. Scientists studied the data from Dr. Jun and the message from Hae-jin, but progress was slow. "We're missing something," said General Park during a meeting with Earth's new unified command. "The containment field affects our thinking. Every time we get close to a solution, our scientists hit a mental block." Commander Do-hyun nodded. He had seen it happen. Brilliant minds would approach a breakthrough, then suddenly lose focus or change direction. The field was subtle but effective. "There's one person who might help," Do-hyun suggested. "Ji-ho Lee. He's an engineer working at our research station in Antarctica. He thinks differently." "Differently how?" asked the general. "He has a rare brain condition that affects how he processes information. The doctors call it neurodivergent. I think it might make him less affected by the field." The general gave permission, and Do-hyun flew to Antarctica the next day. The Antarctic research station was buried partly underground to protect against the harsh weather. Ji-ho's lab was at the lowest level, away from other researchers. When Do-hyun entered, he found a young man surrounded by strange equipment. Ji-ho didn't look up from his work. "I know why you're here," Ji-ho said, adjusting something on a device that hummed softly. "You want to break the cage?" Do-hyun was surprised. "How did you know?" "I felt it my whole life," Ji-ho replied. "Something pushing against my thoughts, trying to direct them. Others don't notice, but I do." He finally looked up. "I've been working on this since the auroras appeared. I think it's ready." Ji-ho showed Do-hyun a device about the size of a microwave oven. It had no obvious controls, just a smooth metal surface with a single button. "What does it do?" Do-hyun asked. "It creates a small hole in the field. Not for long. Maybe a few seconds, but that might be enough. Enough for what? Jiho smiled for the first time. To let something in. Or something out. 3 days later, the device was transported to a remote area of the Gobi Desert. Earth's leaders had decided this was the safest place to test it. Jiho made final adjustments while Do-hyun and a team of scientists watched from a safe distance. Beginning test in 30 seconds, Jiho announced over the radio. The air felt strange, charged with electricity. Birds had fled the area hours ago as if they sensed something was about to happen. 10 second, 5, 3, 2, 1. Jiho pressed the button and ran. The device began to glow, first blue, then white, becoming so bright it was painful to look at even through protective glasses. Then the light shot upward in a perfect beam, hitting something invisible in the sky. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the sky itself seemed to tear, revealing a swirling darkness beyond. "It's working," shouted a scientist. "The field is breaking." But something unexpected happened next. The tear in the sky began to grow on its own, wider and wider. Energy from the field poured down the light beam and into Jiho's device, which now shook violently. "It's absorbing the field's energy," Jiho yelled. This wasn't supposed to happen. Before anyone could react, the device exploded. The light beam vanished and the tear in the sky closed. Jiho was thrown backward, unconscious but alive. The test appeared to be a failure. But as medics rushed to help Jiho, strange reports began coming in from around the world. In research labs across the globe, scientists were making sudden breakthroughs. A team in Brazil solved quantum encryption problems that had stumped experts for decades. Engineers in Japan created a new energy source that defied known physics. Medical researchers in Kenya discovered how to regrow damaged nerve tissue. Within days, humanity made technological leaps that should have taken years. Do-hyun visited Jiho in the hospital, bringing news of these developments. "Your device did something to the field," he explained. "It didn't just create a temporary hole. It somehow disrupted the field's ability to limit our thinking. The best scientists say it's like a dam breaking. All the knowledge that was held back is flooding in." Jiho, his arm in a cast but otherwise recovered, nodded. "I felt it too. Ideas keep coming. I can't write them down fast enough." The world. "Leaders want you to build another device, a stronger one." "I already have the designs," Jiho said. "But we need to hurry. They'll notice what's happening." In space, alarm signals blared through the Galactic Council's monitoring station. Ambassador Hai-jin, now under stricter guard since her message to Earth was discovered, watched the panic from her cell. "The containment field is failing," shouted a Zentari officer. "Human brain activity is spiking across the planet." "Impossible," said a senior council member. "The field has worked for centuries. Send a diplomatic vessel to investigate. Perhaps it's just a temporary anomaly." Hai-jin smiled to herself. Humans had found a way. Just as she had always believed they would. The diplomatic vessel entered Earth's orbit 2 weeks later. Its crew expected to find confused primitives experiencing a minor fluctuation in the containment field. Instead, they found Earth surrounded by newly constructed defense satellites, far more advanced than humans should have been capable of building. "Unidentified vessel," came a transmission in perfect galactic standard language. "This is Captain Sunmi of the Earth Defense Fleet. You have entered protected space. Identify yourselves and state your purpose." The aliens were shocked. Humans shouldn't know their language. They shouldn't have defense satellites, and they certainly shouldn't have a fleet. "We represent the Galactic Council," they replied cautiously. "We come in peace to investigate an anomaly." "The anomaly is that we've broken free," Captain Sunmi responded. "And we know what you've been doing to our planet. Your ship is now surrounded. Prepare to be boarded." Before the aliens could react, their engines shut down. Earth's technology had somehow overridden their controls. Small, sleek vessels approached, carrying human soldiers in advanced spacesuits. The alien crew surrendered without a fight, too stunned to resist. Do-hyun led the team that interrogated the captured aliens. They were terrified, especially when they saw how quickly humans learned to use their technology. "How is this possible?" one alien asked. "You were primitive just months ago." "We were never primitive," Do-hyun explained. "We were held back. Now we're free and we learn very quickly when motivated. Your council made a serious mistake." Reports came in that Earth's rapidly expanding fleet had used the captured alien technology to launch a coordinated attack against the containment field generators hidden throughout the solar system. Within hours, the field collapsed completely. Earth was free for the first time in centuries. As the last generator fell, Do-hyun received an urgent message from Captain Sunmi. "Commander," she said, her face serious on the video screen, "long-range sensors are detecting a massive fleet approaching. It's the containment fleet. They know we've broken free." Do-hyun nodded. "Then it's time to show them what humans can really do." The stage was set for humanity's first true battle against those who had caged them. And unknown to the Galactic Council, they were about to face an enemy they had created through their own fear and actions. 3 weeks had passed since Earth broke free from the containment field. In that short time, humans had built a fleet of ships using technology reverse-engineered from the captured alien vessel. The ships were not mere copies. Human engineers had improved the designs, making them faster and more powerful. Commander Do-hyun stood on the bridge of the flagship, the EDF Liberator. It was the largest vessel humans had ever built, constructed in orbit using new manufacturing methods that would have been impossible under the containment field. "All ships report ready, Commander," said his communications officer. Do-hyun nodded. "Then it's time. Set course for the Proxima Outpost." The Proxima Outpost was the nearest Galactic Council facility, a space station orbiting a planet in the Alpha Centauri system. Intelligence gathered from the captured aliens revealed it was lightly defended, a perfect first target. The Earth fleet, consisting of 20 warships and 40 smaller fighters, entered a form of faster-than-light travel that the aliens called slip space. According to their calculations, the journey would take 12 hours. "Remember," Do-hyun told his crew, "this is not about revenge. It's about showing our strength so they'll think twice before trying to cage us again." Meanwhile, at the Galactic Council's main station, Ambassador Hae-jin saw her chance. The confusion following Earth's breakout had created gaps in security. Guards were reassigned to manage the crisis, leaving fewer eyes watching her. Hae-jin had spent decades memorizing the station's layout. She knew which corridors had fewer cameras and which access panels were rarely checked. When the night cycle began and the lights dimmed, she made her move. Using a tool fashioned from her food tray, she opened the panel beside her bed and slipped into the maintenance tunnel beyond. Alarms blared as her absence was discovered, but Hae-jin was already moving toward the communication center. If she could reach it, she could send vital information to Earth. 2 guards blocked her path. Hae-jin had never been violent in her life, but 30 years of captivity had built a quiet rage inside her. She moved with surprising speed, using techniques she had observed during guard training exercises. Both aliens fell unconscious before they could raise an alert. In the communication center, Hae-jin worked quickly. She accessed the secure databases, downloading everything she could find about the Council's defenses. As she worked, she heard footsteps approaching. "This is all I can do," she whispered, sending the transmission toward Earth. She knew the signal would take years to reach home at normal speeds, but she hoped Earth's new technology might find a way to receive it sooner. Guards burst into the room just as she finished. Hae-jin didn't resist as they took her away. She had done what she could for her people. On the Galactic Council's capital world, an emergency session was in progress. Representatives from all 17 member species argued about how to respond to the human threat. "We should have eliminated them when we had the chance," said the Vrax leader, pounding his fist on the table. "That was never an option," replied the Zentari representative. "We are not genocidal. The containment was meant to be temporary, until they matured as a species." "Well, they've matured faster than anyone expected," said a third alien, "and now they have our technology." The debate continued until an urgent message arrived. The Proxima Outpost had gone silent. All communications ceased without warning. "It's begun," the council leader said gravely. The humans have launched their attack. Do-hyun studied the wreckage of the Proxima outpost through the Liberator's view screen. The battle had been swift and decisive. Earth's forces had overwhelmed the station's defenses before they could even send a distress signal. No casualties on their side, reported his tactical officer. All personnel have been secured in the lower levels, as ordered. Do-hyun nodded with satisfaction. Taking lives unnecessarily wasn't the goal. Demonstrating power was enough. Download everything from their databases, he ordered. Then set the next course. We hit 3 more outposts before they can organize a defense. As the crew carried out his orders, a communication officer approached. Commander, we've received a transmission. It appears to be from the council's main station, but it's in Korean. Do-hyun's heart raced. Put it through to my private channel, he listened as Hae-jin's voice filled his earpiece, explaining the council's defense networks, their weak points, and the discord already spreading among the 17 species. They fear you now, Hae-jin's message concluded. Use that fear. Make them respect Earth, not just dread it. Dr. Min was 82 years old, too old for space travel. He remained on Earth, working with a team of scientists to study the captured alien biology. As one of the world's leading geneticists, he had been asked to determine if humans could communicate better with the various alien species. In his lab at the former United Nations building in New York, now renamed the Earth Defense Headquarters, Dr. Min made a startling discovery. Look at this, he told his assistant, pointing to a display showing alien brain patterns. When exposed to human brain waves, their frontal lobes show increased activity. It's like their brains are trying to sync with ours. Further tests revealed something even more surprising. With the containment field gone, human brain patterns were changing. New neural pathways were forming, enhancing abilities that had always been present, but suppressed. Humans have always had potential for enhanced pattern recognition and spatial reasoning, Dr. Min explained to Earth's Leadership Council. The field was specifically designed to suppress these abilities because they exceed those of other species. Are you saying we're smarter than them? Asked a council member. Not smarter, Dr. Min clarified. Different. We adapt faster. We see connections they miss. That's why they feared us enough to contain us. On the 5th planet of the Rigel system, General Yuri led Earth's 3rd attack against Council forces. Unlike the previous outposts, this one was heavily defended. They're learning, Yuri told her officers as enemy ships approached. But so are we. The battle lasted hours instead of minutes. Earth vessels took damage for the first time, but the new shield technology held. By the end, the Council forces retreated, leaving their outpost undefended. As Yuri's forces secured the facility, they discovered something unexpected. Prisoners. Dozens of different alien species, all contained like Hae-jin had been. They weren't just containing us, Yuri realized. They contain any species they fear might grow too powerful. She ordered the prisoners freed and offered safe passage to their home worlds. Many were shocked by human mercy. They had been told humans were violent savages who would destroy anything different from themselves. We are not what they said, Yuri told them, and we will prove it by our actions. 3 days later, Earth forces launched simultaneous attacks on 5 more Council worlds, coordinated with perfect timing. The message was clear. Humans could strike anywhere. The Council formally declared war on humanity, unaware that this was exactly what Earth's Strategic Command had hoped for. Now they had justification for full military action. On the Liberator, Do-hyun received reports of Earth's victories across multiple fronts. We've pushed them back in every sector, his tactical officer reported. They never expected us to advance so quickly or strike so effectively. Do-hyun nodded, but his expression remained serious. This is just the beginning. The real war starts now. As if confirming his words, sensors detected a massive fleet assembling near the Council's capital. The 17 species were setting aside their differences to face the human threat together. The stage was set for the largest battle in galactic history, with Earth's newly unleashed potential against the combined might of 17 ancient civilizations. 8 months had passed since Earth forces began their counterattack against the Galactic Council. What started as a defensive action had become a stunning series of victories. Human ships now controlled 12 star systems, creating a protective zone around Earth. The Council races were shocked by their defeats. Their technology was superior, but humans adapted too quickly. Each time the aliens developed a new weapon or defense, humans found a way around it within days. Commander Do Hyun stood in a meeting room aboard the Liberator, looking at a star map showing human-controlled territory. Representatives from Earth's unified government sat around the table. "We've established a defensive perimeter," Do Hyun explained. "Our borders are secure. The question now is, do we push further, or do we offer peace talks?" Some wanted to continue fighting until the Council surrendered completely. Others argued for a more measured approach. "We've proven our point," said one representative. "We're not trapped anymore. Maybe it's time to show we're not the savages. They think we are." Before they could decide, the communications officer interrupted. "Commander, Ambassador Hai Jin has arrived from the neutral system of Tau Ceti. Her ship is requesting permission to dock." Do Hyun was surprised. After sending her message months ago, Hai Jin had disappeared from the Council's main station. Many feared she was dead. "Grant permission immediately," he ordered. Hai Jin looked older than her years. 30 years in alien captivity followed by months hiding in neutral systems had taken their toll, but her eyes were bright with purpose as she addressed Earth's leaders. "I've discovered why the Council feared us so much," she began. "In their oldest records, there are stories of another species that rose quickly like humans. They called them the predecessors." She showed images of an ancient humanoid race that had nearly conquered the galaxy thousands of years ago. Their ships looked strangely familiar, similar to designs humans had independently created since breaking free. "The Council believes we are either descendants of the predecessors or were engineered by them," Hai Jin explained. "They contained Earth because they feared history would repeat itself." "What happened to these predecessors?" someone asked. "They disappeared suddenly, at the height of their power. No one knows why." Do Hyun studied the images closely. "So they fear us because we remind them of a ghost from their past." Hai Jin nodded. "And now that ghost has returned, more powerful than ever." While Hai Jin shared her discovery, Engineer Jiho and a small team had taken a fast scout ship deep into Council space. Their mission was to investigate rumors of a superweapon being developed to destroy Earth. Jiho's ship, the Pathfinder, was the most advanced vessel humans had built, incorporating stealth technology that made it nearly invisible to sensors. "We're approaching the coordinates," Jiho told his pilot as they neared a remote planet far from regular space lanes. What they found wasn't a weapon facility. It was a research station built around something far more ancient. "It's a ship," said Jiho in awe as they scanned the structure. "But it's unlike anything the Council races use." The ship was massive, clearly built for a species larger than any known in the galaxy. Its design was elegant yet powerful, with symbols that seemed oddly familiar to the human eye. "We need to get closer," Jiho decided. Using their stealth technology, they landed near the facility. Security was minimal, as the Council believed no one knew about this location. Inside, Jiho discovered research logs that confirmed his suspicions. This was a predecessor ship, one of the few intact vessels ever found. But what the logs revealed next changed everything Jiho thought he knew about humanity's place in the galaxy. The predecessors didn't just look like humans, he told his team, as they downloaded the data. According to these tests, they created humans. We were engineered by them, designed to be adaptable caretakers for worlds damaged in ancient wars. The team was stunned. Humans weren't just related to the predecessors. They were their legacy, created with a purpose. "We need to get this information back to Earth," Jiho said urgently. On Earth, Dr. Min and his team made a complementary discovery. After months studying the biology of all 17 Council species, they found something unexpected. "Look at these genetic markers," Dr. Min told his colleagues, pointing to patterns on a screen. "They appear in every Council species, but they're dormant. Further research revealed these markers were designed to activate when exposed to specific brainwave patterns. Human brainwave patterns. They were engineered, Dr. Min realized. All 17 species show signs of genetic manipulation. They were designed to respond to human leadership under specific circumstances. The implications were enormous. If humans were created by the predecessors to be caretakers, the council races might have been created to work alongside them, each with specific roles in a greater plan. But something had gone wrong. The connection between the species had been broken, and in their separation, fear had grown. The findings from Jiho's mission and Dr. Min's research reached Earth's leadership at the same time. Du Hyun and Hai Jin were present when the reports were delivered. So we were created to lead, and they were created to follow, said one representative. This changes everything. It explains why they feared us enough to contain us, Hai Jin added. At some level they might have sensed what we were meant to be. Du Hyun was troubled by the implications. If we use this knowledge to force their submission, we become the very threat they feared. We would confirm their worst beliefs about us. The room fell silent as Earth's leaders considered their options. They now faced a moral dilemma. Use this biological advantage to force a surrender, potentially dominating the galaxy as the predecessors intended, or seek peace despite the Council's attempt to imprison humanity. We need more information, Do Hyun decided, about the predecessors, about why they created both us and the Council races. There must be a reason they designed us to work together rather than against each other. As they debated their next steps, reports came in of the Council's massive fleet moving toward Earth's defensive perimeter. The 17 species had united their forces for one decisive battle. Whatever we decide, said Hai Jin, we must decide, quickly. The moment of truth is approaching. Du Hyun nodded gravely. The knowledge they had gained was powerful, but how they used it would define humanity's place in the galaxy for generations to come. Prepare the fleet, he ordered. But hold attack plans. I need time to consider what we've learned. The fate of both humanity and the Council races now hung in the balance, with Earth's response to their attackers about to write the next chapter in galactic history. The Council fleet filled the view screens of the Earth Defense Force flagship Liberator. Thousands of alien vessels had gathered, representing all 17 species of the Galactic Council. It was the largest military force ever assembled in the known galaxy. Commander Do Hyun stood calmly, watching the enemy ships position themselves for attack. His own fleet was outnumbered 3-1, but human technology had advanced rapidly in the months since breaking free from containment. They're sending a transmission, reported the communications officer. The main screen displayed the Council's supreme leader, a tall, gray-skinned alien with multiple eyes arranged in a circle around its head. Humans of Earth, the leader began, voice translated by the ship's computers. Your aggression has forced us to take decisive action. Surrender now, return to your world, and accept containment once more. This is your only warning. Du Hyun shared a glance with Ambassador Hai Jin, who stood beside him. They had spent the last 24 hours discussing what they had learned about the predecessors and the genetic link between humans and the Council races. I will speak with them, General Yuri said, stepping forward. As Earth's highest military commander, she had the final say in matters of war. The general faced the screen, her expression firm but not hostile. This is General Yuri of Earth. I am authorized to discuss terms of surrender. The alien leader seemed pleased. Good. You have finally recognized the futility of resistance. I believe there has been a misunderstanding, Yuri continued. I am not discussing our surrender. I am here to accept yours. Silence filled the communication channel. The Council leader appeared shocked, then angry. This is madness. Look around. You human, you are surrounded. Your destruction is certain. And yet we are not afraid, Yuri replied calmly. Before you launch your attack, I suggest you listen to what we have discovered. It concerns us all. On the Council's capital world, the 17 representatives watched the exchange with growing unease. For months, they had feared human retaliation. Their militaries were in ruins, their economies collapsed. The containment of Earth had been a terrible miscalculation. Now, as General Yuri explained humanity's discoveries about the predecessors and the genetic connection between the species, the council members looked at each other with new understanding. "She speaks the truth," confirmed the Zentari scientist who had studied the predecessor vessel. "Our oldest genetic records show markers that align with their findings." "Are we to believe we were created to serve humans?" demanded the Vrax representative, outraged. "Not to serve," the scientist corrected, "to complement. Each species with different strengths, working as part of a greater whole." As the implications sank in, the council's supreme leader faced the screen again. "What are your terms, General?" "Yuri." Back on the Liberator, Yuri outlined Earth's conditions. First, full recognition of Earth as a sovereign power with equal standing in galactic affairs. Second, reparations for centuries of containment and lost development. The council leader waited for more, but Yuri had finished. "That is all?" the alien asked, confused. "No territory demands? No executions of council leaders? No forced disarmament?" "We want justice, not vengeance," Yuri explained. "And we offer something in return. We will share our knowledge and help rebuild what this conflict has damaged. Together, we can establish a new galactic order based on cooperation rather than control." The council leader was silent for a long moment. "We expected no mercy from humans. Your kind has surprised us once again." "Perhaps that is why the predecessors created us all," Yuri suggested. "To learn from each other, to be better together than apart." 3 days later, Engineer Jiho and Dr. Min presented their breakthrough to a joint meeting of Earth and Council representatives. They had developed a method to safely activate the dormant genetic programming in both humans and aliens. "This won't create a master-servant relationship," Dr. Min assured the gathering. "Rather, it enhances communication and understanding between our species." Jiho demonstrated the device they had created, a small sphere that emitted specific energy patterns. When activated, it allows our brains to process information in complementary ways. We begin to understand each other at a level beyond words. Volunteers from both sides stepped forward. When the device activated, their expressions changed from uncertainty to wonder. "I can sense their thoughts," said the human volunteer. "Not words, but concepts, emotions, intentions." "Their minds are so different," the alien volunteer added, "yet familiar somehow, like remembering something long forgotten." As more people experienced the connection, something unexpected happened. Ancient knowledge embedded in their genetics became accessible. Memories not their own surfaced in dreams and meditations. Ambassador Hai Jin was among the first to understand the full picture. She called an emergency meeting with Commander Do Hyun, General Yuri, and the Council's supreme leader. "The predecessors didn't just disappear," she explained. "They left deliberately, and they left us behind with a purpose." According to the recovered memories, the predecessors had detected something approaching from beyond the galaxy. Something ancient and dangerous. They had created humans and the council races as caretakers, each with different abilities that, when combined, could protect the galaxy in their absence. They engineered humans to be adaptable and innovative, Heijin continued. The council races were given stability, long lives, and specialized knowledge. Together, we form a defense system they designed millions of years ago. The council leader's multiple eyes blinked in sequence. "And the containment field?" "A terrible mistake," Heijin said. "It disrupted the very system meant to protect us all. When you feared and contained us, you weakened the galaxy's defenses." 1 month later, the leaders of Earth and the former council stood together on the observation deck of the Liberator. The peace treaty had been signed, reparations had begun, and the first joint human-alien crews were being formed. Captain Sunmi approached with a data pad. "We've confirmed the readings at the edge of our sensor range," she reported. "Unknown. Objects are approaching from intergalactic space. Their energy signatures match nothing in our records." Do Hyun looked at the Council's supreme leader. "It seems the predecessors were right. We face a common threat." How long until they arrive? Asked the alien leader. 5 years, perhaps 6, Sunmi replied. They're moving faster than anything we've seen before. General Yuri stepped forward. Then we have work to do. The predecessors created us for this moment. It's time we fulfilled our purpose. Do-hyun nodded, looking out at the stars. The containment of Earth was not just short-sighted. It left the galaxy vulnerable to whatever is coming. The Supreme Leader's voice was solemn. We sought to control you out of fear. Now we beg for your help out of necessity. And you have it, Yuri assured him. Not because you beg, but because this is our galaxy too. We will defend it together. As they spoke, more ships arrived from Earth and former Council worlds. A new fleet was forming, larger than any before it. Human ingenuity combined with alien specialized knowledge was already creating technologies beyond what either could have developed alone. The mistake of containment had nearly doomed them all. But human mercy and victory had given the galaxy a second chance. Now, united as the predecessors had intended, they prepared to face whatever was coming from the darkness between galaxies. For the first time in millions of years, the system was working as designed. Humans and aliens, once enemies, now stood together as the guardians of all galactic life.